What's good, people? It's your boy Jude, back on my third vlog, and I'm playing catch up here. So I was gonna do 2 or 3 collections of things I've got up to over the past 3 weeks, and my first stop is the O2 in Greenwich to TOCA Social. If you've never been, TOCA Social is the world's first immersive football and dining experience venue. It features gaming boxes where you and a group can play interactive games, which are a series of shooting challenges in pairs as solos, leading to a calculated final score, resulting in the winners of the games. It's a proper fun, an actual workout, and yeah, just a great setting to eat, drink, and socialize with friends. I've been here several times actually, and I absolutely adore this place. I'll do it once a week if not for everybody's schedules, but let me tell you, I played a game by myself, and the lack of rest really showed me I've got to get back to running and playing football. I love this entrance, by the way. It makes me feel like a ultimate team reveal card. But this day, TOCA teamed up with Art of Football, a brand that emphasizes on the football community. They gathered a spread of football and culturally engaged media, including myself, and there was even like a lovely lad who brought his Arsenal fan dad. I love things like that, like bridging eras of football fandom. We had a very communal-led workshop to look forward to, where we got to create our own t-shirts and 2 Champions League game screenings, which I blurred out because on my first vlog I got slapped with cuts because I recorded a screen while at the same live event. Weird, but yeah, YouTube copyrights are crazy. On the day, we got to see Aston Villa versus Club Brugge. Arsenal also played PSV at their ground and slapped them 7-1. And the Madrid derby was on the screen below. There was 2 screens, one upstairs and one downstairs. And I've actually never been there for a screening before, but it actually makes sense. But yeah, here's a spread of the snacks that we enjoyed. There's also like a scoreboard to show like the fixtures happening and also the scores. So yeah, like in I think around 6 or 7 spaces. But yeah, here's a video of me. I played some games for myself. I was absolutely blinkered by the end of it. But even when I started to play, like the screen fell. Man said the screen fell. My phone fell. And yeah, so I couldn't really even capture it. I can't lie. But yeah, I love a workshop, man. I love just being creative and putting stuff together. I don't know why Harry Kane is plastered there. Mad English propaganda. He hasn't won anything yet. Great striker, hasn't won anything yet. That's my Tottenham hate just coming to the surface. But yeah, man, like this is like the upstairs room where they hosted the workshop, and as you can see, bare different things to put on the shirt. I wanted to go for a more kind of like South American styled football shirt, which is ironic because I definitely didn't do too much with it. It ended up being more like a pro clubs shirt. Maybe it didn't unlock bare different things or something. But yeah, I went with something simple, something that I can wear to gym, something I could go out in if I wanted to. And yeah, man, like it was a fun experiment, and seeing what everyone else came up with. I'll show you my shirt in full glory real soon. They also host screenings there, obviously. So I didn't know that. I didn't know because that was implemented in between the times I've been there. Definitely. Like last time I went, I don't think there was a screening. Or maybe there was a screening and the games weren't on. They did go in the afternoon, to be fair. But yeah, man, check it out. And also, what I loved about this was just seeing the whole process of the shirt printing and coming together. I love like sitting in on processes like this. For me, it's some type of ASMR. It's also being taught something. I am someone that learns visually, and I would ask loads of questions about how things come together, and he wanted to make sure everything matched up perfectly, and it did for me. Like, yeah, you'll get to see it in its full glory real soon. But also, please check out Art of Football. As I said, they're a community-based football brand, and yeah, they create loads of shirts, have some really good incentives, and this is the first time I got to work with them in any type of capacity. But yeah, as you can see, this is what I produced I think is pretty cool. On to the next thing. So a few weeks ago, I got invited to the Sidemen Charity Match versus the YouTube All-Stars at Wembley. I won't lie and act like I've always understood it, and I do acknowledge anything charitable is commendable, but I was baffled by the turnout and the grandeur of the events that they put on, they being the Sidemen, that is. However, a few years ago, I started to watch them, and I had a realization that these YouTubers are truly deserving of the love and appreciation they get. A majority of them are honest creators who have evolved with their content in real time despite having mature moments, and have a fan base that reflected in the attendance at Wembley. Also, in a moment of self-growth, I've learned not to be hypercritical of a self-serving base like these creators and on YouTube, as a conglomerate media literally platforms racists, coddle R charges and PDF files, but villainize such young adults when they get some things wrong. The views at Wembley are unmatched, by the way. This is the first time I got to sit in the media seats, and I was absolutely gassed. Like, look at that. That is just stunning. Did you know that 40% of TV viewing is covered by streaming platforms? So like Netflix, Prime, Disney, and others. YouTube makes up 10% of that. And these YouTubers, man, they captivate a spread of young people who are part of a new age of culture, and this culture spans a worldwide audience. It engages them over countries, breaking through countless communities, and forges a new age of culture. And one thing I realized too is that once such content becomes popular culture, it merges or forms a bridge of subcultures. So like back in the day, such like an old man reference, but I'm old in terms of popular youth culture. But back in the day, we'd have clear lines of subcultures. In the 90s, you'd have ravers, grungers, Britpop kids, garage heads, townies, grebos. In the 2000s, grime kids, emos, indie and scene kids, chavs and new ravers. Skaters will always exist and evolve in their own manner, but in the 2010s, the internet, with the convention of social media's evolution, subcultures started to span worldwide audiences. You had like the idea of quote-unquote roadmen being adopted from London with cosplays, but no direct connection in other English cities and towns, in European countries too, hipsters, hype beasts, infinite amounts of stans, even though they had a pre-internet legacy. Today, you've got minimalists, baddies, Y2Kers, and the concepts of liberal, the woke, far-right, LGBTQ, which breach political and social lanes to become the new age of internet subcultures. Let me know in the comments if there's any subcultures that I clearly missed out. I'm pretty sure I am. But yeah, man, like, anyway, the Sidemen, they started out as a GTA group, I believe, and a pro clubs team, formed of several YouTubers who are immense creative forces alone, often collaborating on content. They created some sort of economy for themselves through their love of football. I find it crazy that in 2010, in college, I was watching KSI and Deji's videos, at times definitely questioning their joke choices, but at the same time appreciating this evolving space for black YouTubers, self-made creators in general, and seeing the impact it had on wider culture. Fast forward 15 years later, YouTubers somewhat run a large part of the creative world. The charity match itself was hilarious. It was not a good quality match, but they amassed over £5 million, had over 8 million live viewers, and had a Wembley filled to the brim. Like, I've never seen Wembley like this before. They had a halftime show, right? AJ Tracy and KSI performed, and literally, I think this is prophetic of the future, in a way. Like, the World Cup is soon to have a halftime show. Euros are going to have a halftime show. I'm sure the Copa America and the AFCON will too. Also, in filling Wembley, the crowd was just different, man. And not even to say all football fandom is like this, but this didn't have heaps of drunken and drugged up audiences, you know, but it invited people who probably don't care about football as much to the grand venue of Wembley for a beautiful occasion, and it was just fun, man. You can see like kids just really enjoying themselves. Those people there with like their partners, those parents looking after their kids and ensuring they had a real fun time. And just considering the enormity of the situation, man, like over 2.7 billion people in the world use YouTube on a monthly basis. And on the pitch at Wembley, I can't really be asked to calculate it all, but approximately the subscription amount of all the gathered YouTubers spans over 500 million people. That is insane. That is ridiculous. I also saw a Mexican waveform, and again, like, I don't think these guys are the biggest like sporting fans, so it took them a few times to catch on. And then there was 5 Mexican waves in a row, and I found that hilarious. But yeah, I also love it for them. I love seeing culture evolve and transform, and definitely through the YouTube and streaming space, there's an organic transformation alongside a very inorganic platform in terms of social media and the internet. I always say these things are essentially unstudied. They just were cast out into society, and it was like, hey, deal with it. And these YouTubers have, again, they've created their own economy. These people have more fans and more eyes on them than traditional media. With that statistic I gave you guys earlier, I'm not sure if anyone paused it and read it, but it also shows the different types of media when it comes to TV. And yeah, 40% streaming, the rest cable and broadcasting. And it just goes to show, man, like there's an evolution happening. Like traditional forms of media are waning in terms of keeping people's attention, and with the amount of choice these people have, they can do their own thing. And yeah, to top off the whole situation, the whole event, Speed scores a penalty and does his now famed celebration, a cartwheel into a backflip. And yeah, I loved it. The crowd were roaring. He deserved it. He was great, man. He was he was playing better than some wingers have at Wembley recently. I won't name any names. My last stop today is my ventures with Adidas. I got to see their new season in terms of shirts midweek this week, and yeah, I was overwhelmed. I love getting insider information. It might sound a bit sneaky, but hey, that's me. But Adidas, I've managed to build a pretty cool relationship with them. Like, they invited me last year to the Olympics, and I got to see judo, BMX freestyling, and also 3x3 basketball, which is actually a pretty intense and cool game. Like a half court 3x3, a team of like, I'd say 6 players. Yeah, constantly rotating and very intense. Now, these wouldn't have been my first choice of events, but I'm only grateful for the opportunity. You know, Olympics ticked off on my bucket list, and that was from a media perspective. I get loads of awesome opportunities, and this is why I started vlogging. And I noticed earlier I said vlogging. Please don't cuss me in the comments for that. I was born and raised here, but I have fresh off the boat antics. I'll be totally honest. This was my hotel. I just took like random shots of it. But in all, because I was so grateful for the journey, I felt a bit guilty by their hospitality. So I ended up pushing for an article to be produced for Complex. And yeah, I got the chance to speak to the silver medalist winner in Kieran Riley. He's a proper cool guy. He won silver medal on this competition, actually, which is the BMX freestyling. And yeah, man, proper cool guy, a Geordie lad who I'm sure had a great weekend last weekend when they lifted the Carabao Cup over my team, Liverpool. We were very poor. Newcastle deserved it. I absolutely loved it for them. And yeah, they also had this awesome they, as in Adidas, they had this awesome takeover of a car park to create an Adidas house. And this essentially homed their history tied into the Olympics. As you can see, like all of the famed gear of old Olympians and athletes. They also had a games room. They hosted their prestigious footwear, like a spread of all of like the different styles that they had. And they also hosted up a live metal shaped mechanism hanging from the floor that showed like live Adidas winning athletes in real times, with scenes and even a factory in the back to produce trainers tailored to their athletes. It was a proper sick setting. Alongside that, back in the UK, I've been visiting one of their hubs for insight into these launches. And yeah, this week I got to see those unreleased kits. And all I can say is, Liverpool fans, we are back. Arsenal are always there when it comes to kits, and they've got something amazing and produced. Might be their year in terms of social media and imagery again. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for the longish upload. I really appreciate the support. Like, share, subscribe and all that jazz. I shall see you later.